Hello and welcome to my digital e-learning resource. My name is Elizabeth Sheridan. This resource that I'm sharing is a Google Classroom. So this is the Google Classroom code if you'd like to enter it into your computer and enroll yourself. This resource was created for promoting inclusive education within my school. So as you can see, it's a module-based course. There's 5 modules in it, and it also has a welcome. I'm going to give you a brief overview of the resource as I talk about it and also the background in planning it. Support guide on topics that the resource teacher usually provides help to the teaching staff in an alternative high school throughout the year. To begin with, I have a welcome. The welcome is just an overview of what we're going to be learning, and I've also attached a teacher handbook from the Chignecto Central region that kind of overviews the program planning process for teachers, especially new teachers, and it could be a review for other teachers. Some of the common questions that came from my teaching staff, which I did a needs-based assessment with, include topics such as important dates, educational technology options, and support for learners with diverse needs. As an alternative high school, we have a very diverse student body. Most professional development, or PD, is front-loaded at the beginning of the year. So PD, which is often auditory, PowerPoint may go in one ear and out the other as staff cannot connect with the information and the needs of the classroom yet. By building this self-paced resource, teachers can go in and access it anytime during the year, and this addresses their questions in a timely manner and supports teacher growth. So my first module here is looking at that first topic, which was important dates. So these will be dates around TINET. As you can see here, I have just an extra document, which I've also put into my Google slide. So I'm going to open up the Google slide, which is the actual course. Each of the modules is laid out in a very similar fashion, and they've started with the learning objective for that module. Of the 5 modules, each module hits a different learning goal that I have created based on my needs assessment that I did with my staff. I've put in my goal, and then I've made it also into a more user-friendly or learner-friendly goal. As we walk through this module, you'll see that I've tried to incorporate a mixture of text and other links. All the links that I've incorporated for my staff are underlined. You'll also notice that on each page, I've incorporated an audio option as well. So this is using the function Mote, which is connected to Google Suite. And if you click on this, it may not pop up at first for you until you download Mote onto your Google account as well, but then it works. I use this for students as well. It's particularly useful for students who may need to have something read aloud to them, but I can't be there side by side, so I can do it ahead of time. And it's just a 1-minute audio clip. So as the learner progresses through this module, you'll notice that, again, I've tried to keep the writing as much as I can to a minimum. This page has a little bit more to make sure that the user is not feeling overwhelmed. I've also tried to incorporate accessibility. So all of my text is in black font. And again, that audio option helps users who may need to have it explained to them. At the end of each module is my learner task, which is something that the learner will have to do to show that they understood what was learned from each module. And then I have my resources. So I'm going to go back out to my main page and give you a little bit more information about my development of this program. So by building the self-paced resource, teachers can go in and access it anytime during the year, and this addresses their questions in a timely manner and supports teacher growth. Whole group activities are incorporated where staff can leave comments or questions that other teachers can respond to and take from. With the varying years of experience and backgrounds that make up my teaching staff, there are differences in how much instruction staff may need for the various outcomes. Some staff bring more background knowledge, and the benefit of the self-paced course is that they can put more effort into those topics that they do need instruction on or a review of, and they can skim over ones that they may already have a pretty good base in. When preparing for a self-paced course for learners who are adults, there is a different sets of needs and development that go into the instructional design. So these include a deliberate course design and a structure based on adult learning principles, varying levels of interaction with the instructor, the content, and the peer, and an emphasis on self-reflection. That was from Rizzuto 2016. In addition, Russell et al. Had identified 5 components that should be present in the instructional design of an online professional development. So it should foster a deepening of subject matter knowledge, a greater understanding of learning, and a greater appreciation of student needs. It centers around critical activities of teaching and learning and planning. It evaluates student works, and it's developing a curriculum, improving classroom practices, and increasing student learning. It builds on investigations of practice through cases that involve specific problems of practice question, analysis, reflection, and substantial professional discourse. So I'm just going to pause here. So in second module, you'll see that the learner task is to complete a Google form. So this is where the learners will then reflect on what they have taken in module 2, which was around navigating TINET. So I'm going to click now and go to this Google form. And you can see here that I'm just asking them some questions to make sure that they comprehend and can show an awareness of how to use TINET. So I'll go back over to module 2. And again, I just have my resources and some extra resources that they could access here at the end. And now we'll go back out to the main one and take a look through the third module. So I've tried to make each module as consistent as possible so there's no surprises for the learner, which really helps when you are doing a self-paced class because there's not an instructor over your shoulder that you're able to ask questions of. I chose to use Google Classroom for my learning platform to house the 5 modular learning units. I chose Google Classroom because it is our main platform that we use in HRCE, and all of our staff are proficient at navigating it and the other Google tools such as Google Forms that go along with it. Using a familiar technology platform allows the learners to focus on the material and not have to worry about picking up new tech skills. However, as an additional add-on, as I said, I did use Mote on most pages of the resource to add audio to the learning. My target audience is the teaching staff at an alternative high school in Bedford, Nova Scotia. There are approximately 20 staff members at my high school, along with an additional 10 teachers who work with a sister program and may also benefit from this self-paced resource. Staff have varying years of teaching experience, various specialties and levels of education, with some holding master's degrees that may specialize in inclusive education, while some may be new to teaching. So again, this resource is self-paced to try to have something for everyone in it. So you'll see here again that I've tried to incorporate multi-modalities as well. So I've incorporated some videos, I've incorporated some text, some visuals, and also that auditory piece. When designing this, the theory that I used for this resource is based in connectivism, along with some aspects of social constructivism, which we'll get to here in a second. So connectivism was chosen as the content being based in inclusive education is so vast, there's so much of it and so depth in its amount that, it continues to evolve, that connectivism is going to bring a sampling of the content to the learner so that they can connect with it, but it also provides more resources that they can choose to go to and explore if there's a particular topic that's of interest to them. So for example, here on ASD, I have the link to find more information from Autism Nova Scotia. So there are also some aspects of social constructivism theory in the design process. So the intended learners have a wide breadth of experience already in the field, and they can learn from one another in addition to the content provided. So for example, here I've used a Jamboard, which I'm just going to go to. And in this case, I'm using some case studies where the learners are encouraged to then put in their strategies and their perspectives on how to best support the students in the case studies. So this can be based on what they've just read in the module, but also combined with their own personal teaching experience. They'll be able to see each other's responses, and maybe there'll be something there that they can pick up from someone else. So they'll be learning from each other. Okay, so I'm going to go back out here. So any of the concerns that I had here with using this digital platform, my biggest concern was with privacy and with copyright. So some of the things that I'm using here, especially with TieNet, there is a confidentiality, a piece of it. So to overcome that, I used information that I could find on the open internet that was open to anyone. I used some sources from the Nova Scotia EECD, and I also used some stuff from TieNet website itself. All those pieces were open and not confidential. I tried to stay away from the information where you needed a login. I think I referenced as you go through here that I had extra stuff outside of this if you wanted to contact me, but it was housed in a secure database with HRCE, so I wasn't able to just share that on an open forum. I also have housed it in Google Classroom. So most people using this would have a GNESPES account for the Nova Scotia Provincial Education System for Google for Education. I also have open access resources such as YouTube videos and supplemental resources, which I tried to make sure were all open to anybody who could find it on the internet. So as I approach the end of Module 4 here, you'll see that I have, again, another learning task. So this one is, again, another Google Form exit ticket, where, again, I'm getting the learners to reflect on what they have learned in this module and try to incorporate it into their own teaching practice. And then the last thing I'll do here is just take a quick look through Unit 5. And at the end of Unit 5, I have another reflection form that kind of ties it all together, where I'm asking my learners what they found helpful and perhaps what I could focus more on in the future or what they need more instruction on. So thank you, everybody, for coming through this this learning resource with me, and I hope that you've taken something away from this.